Hello, this is a demo of a new feature in the Stratis support in Cockpit. It's about pools where you manage the file system sizes. Let's make one. It's down here. And the first new thing is that you now can see the allocation in the pool that could have been shown earlier, but we didn't implement it yet. So now here it is. You can see how much of the pool size is taken by your managed file systems. There are no file systems now, so there's nothing allocated here. And the maximum is less than your block devices because Stratis itself uses some space for metadata overhead and to implement the thin provisioning, I guess. So you don't get all of it, but you get something. And let's create a file system. We have to specify the size here now because we said we want to manage them. And the point of managing is, of course, to run out of space gracefully. In a normal Stratis pool, without the managing the sizes, I think weird stuff happens when you put more data in a file system than the pool can actually store. Not sure exactly what happens, but I have just made a couple of gigabytes disappear very easily in a over provisioning Stratis pool without any error messages whatsoever. So if you don't want that, you manage your file system sizes, and it starts with specifying the size when creating it. Now you can see the allocation goes up. We have used a lot here already. Maybe we add one more data device. So looks better now. And the new feature is now that Cockpit now allows you to change the size of a file system after it has been created. That was not possible earlier. So now you can at least increase it in this case. Yeah, let's just make it bigger. It gets bigger here, and the allocation in the pool goes up to 2.2. Now you can store 2.2 gigabyte in this file system, about. And sometimes you can even make it smaller if you haven't used all that data yet, but it only goes down to the initial size in this case, or to some size that it has used in the past. So if you have ever stored a couple of gigabytes on this file system and then deleted it, and it looks empty again, you still can't resize it down to the initial small size because it has been grown in the intermediate time. Yeah, now we could make it smaller again. And that's already it. Of course, the maximum size and resizing and when creating is determined by how much is free here. So now we should be able to create a little bit less than 3 gigabyte. Let's see, yeah, 2.7 gigabyte here. And if we do this now, then the pool is fully allocated. You can't create anything anymore, because then you would risk out of, there might be some unused space in the thin provisioning layers, of course, because we don't have actually any data on the file systems yet. But we couldn't use that because it now has already been reserved for these two file systems. So there's one more wrinkle, which you can see in the terminal. Stratis allows to set the limit of a file system that is way larger than the pool. So it would allow it to grow out of the pool. And yeah, let's do this here now. We set the limit for the first file system to 1 terabyte. And of course, because over provisioning has been disabled, the file system will not actually grow that large. It will only grow if there's still unallocated space in the pool, which in this case means it cannot grow anymore. Still, if there would be space, the file systems would now compete with each other and grow incrementally on demand. And That is very similar to how over-provisioning pool works, except the running out of space condition is a bit nicer. So I didn't yet see how to cleanly explain that here in the UI. So in this case, Cockpit just gives up and it will ignore the limits when they don't make any sense. And the resize button has disappeared now. So if people do this kind of setup on the command line, then Cockpit checks out, just gives you the raw numbers, the actual size, and you have to know what you're doing. Okay. We might have missed the use case of the file system limits completely here. So if that's the case, please tell us and we can invent something else. Okay, thanks a lot.